and let the wind push the nose forward so that I'm facing in the direction. All right, so here's where things get embarrassing and exciting all at the same time. Holy cow, that is a big fish. So the question is it worth it? Is it worth it to spend the evening before getting ready for a trip, waking up at 3:30 in the morning, to leave the house at 4:30, to drive an hour, to set up in the dark, to catch just one fish? What about no fish? What if I didn't catch any fish? Is it worth it? But I did catch a fish, so thankfully I don't have to answer the question of whether or not it was worth it to catch 0 fish. But I will say this was a little bit of a rough day on the water. About 15 to 20 minutes into this, as the sun's coming up, the waves picked up, the wind picked up, the current picked up, and it was just a little bit of a rough morning. So we were out on the nearshore reefs outside of Indian Rocks Beach. There are some artificial reefs out there. So me and my buddy Steven went out there, and I found some fish activity over the reefs and decided I was going to throw down some cut bait. I was using some cut mullet, and like I said, I caught one fish. I'll show you that. That's actually a whole nother embarrassing story, but it did turn out to be my personal best and only snook, but it was overslot, so it was a great first fish. I'm very psyched about that. But yeah, so originally I was putting some cut bait on swivel circle hook jigs and was getting robbed. Basically, fish were just stealing from me left and right, which, it is what it is. But I was letting that bait soak, and I was also using an artificial lure to try and see if I could stir anything up. Never did stir anything up on the lure. And one of the things I did want to do is share an update on the anchor trolley, which, here's that. So I get asked a lot how my anchor trolley's working out. So as you can see, I'm anchored in the back there. That's because the wind and the waves are drifting me north. I want to stay on the south side. See, I'm anchored over, got some fish activity on the bottom, and I've got a live bait soaking underneath me. But with the anchor trolley, I can attach at the back and let the wind push the nose forward so that I'm facing in the direction that I want to fish. So it's working out great.
if I want to move the boat around or whatever, I can do that. Just drag the anchor trolley back over. Now I've turned, so I'm facing basically due west now. But I don't want to face that way. I want to face north. So yeah, it's been working out great. And so far the 3M tape has been holding fine, so no issues with that either.
Yeah, you guessed it. I spoke too soon, but more on that later. Well, since I was getting robbed on the circle hook jig, I decided to go to a standard knocker rig. Basically pulled out, I think it's a 2-ounce weight. Might be a 1 ounce, but I'm pretty sure a 2-ounce weight. Let's go the Big Egg sinker. And I ended up with a 4.0 circle hook here, and basically just changed to a more traditional bottom fishing rig. I was thinking maybe there was something with the way the jig was that was causing the circle hook to not really connect, because I was getting some bites, but I just couldn't get a hook set on a fish. Yeah, so I made a change. So while the mullet you see me using in this video is finger mullet, I did end up using larger mullet and cutting it into big chunks, like fist-sized chunks. And that's actually what I caught my snook on. But I don't have any video of me hooking those chunks. Yeah, I mean, I was coming up short most of the morning. We were out there for about 2.5 hours or so, and I just kept losing fish. Couldn't come up with anything. I was getting frustrated. I really wasn't recording as much because I was not catching anything, so I stopped recording and even pushed my back camera away. I did get a look at the anchor trolley. Give you guys a look at how that's holding up right now. And again, that's going to change by the end of this story. That's going to be different, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, missing fish and getting cleaned out.
Constantly getting robbed.
All right, so here's where things get embarrassing and exciting all at the same time. I finally got a fish that bent the rod over. I wasn't recording, so you don't have the beginning of that. Then I was like, I need to get my rear camera set up, and I spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to get that camera set up while also trying to fight this fish. And I'm about 2 minutes into fighting the fish. It's pretty much starting to give up. So I'm just keeping tension on it at this point, trying to get the stupid camera set up, which again, it's kind of embarrassing. I shouldn't have even messed with it. Eventually, I got it, I thought, set to where I was able to get the recording, and yeah, somehow I accidentally put it into hyperlapse mode. This isn't the first time that I've had that problem with a GoPro. The side button changes modes, and somehow I accidentally put it in hyperlapse mode, and so when I thought I was recording, I wasn't getting exactly what I thought. Anyway, back to the fish.
Oh, look at that, a snook.
I'm tired and I'm frustrated because I couldn't get the camera going. I'm excited because I have this huge snook. The net is getting stuck. The fish is heavy. I thought I had it in the net, and then I didn't. And yeah, this is just, I should keep this just so that I can look at it and feel bad about myself in the future about how lame this was. No.
Whew. Holy crap. That's a heavy fish.
I was super happy. Again, A, this is my first snook. B, it's a decent fish.
Hey there, Mr. Snook. Oh my lord.
And C, it's the fish that kept me from getting skunked on this trip. So that was nice.
Holy cow. That is a big fish. I'm gonna get a measurement on him.
So thankfully I have a measuring stick that I bought for the kayak. I've never actually had an opportunity to use it. I've never had anything that I actually wanted to measure until now. So that was pretty awesome.
Come here, guy. 35, 34 and a half to the end of the tail. Oh my Lord. What a fish. A monster. Almost 35 inches. I think we can get you revived. He's stuck in my thumb. Come on, big fella. You put up a good fight, buddy. Thank you. Do you want to go? You want to go? There you go. There you go. Oh yeah. What a beautiful fish. What a beautiful fish that was. That was exciting. That was my first snook, by the way. And what a nice one to have as my first.
Remember that hyperlapse issue with the GoPro? Well, this is what it captured, so not super useful. But anyway, I went to start packing up because at that point I was feeling like I was pretty much done. The winds were just picking up and the waves were getting worse. And went to pull the anchor, and that's when I realized things didn't go so well with the anchor trolley.
Well, there we go. We have a failure. Not good enough for these waves, that's for sure.
Now I'll show you some details at the end, but to be fair, the 3M tape separated, like it split in two. There was 3M tape on the side of the kayak and on the anchor trolley mount. So yeah, it wasn't anything other than the 3M tape separating.
Anchor trolley didn't survive. All right, let's get out of here.
So I left my spot and went to check on Steven to see how he was doing. He gave me the international symbol for I'm ready to go. So basically we just headed to shore and called this a day. Now I caught one fish and it turned out to be a really great fish, even though it was an embarrassing catch to have on video. Steven didn't catch anything. I hate to be the one to say that. He was having a rough time. Again, the waters were rough and choppy, and it really did put our equipment to the test. You saw my anchor trolley failure. It was hard to hold anchor. It was hard to stay on bottom. Fish were stealing from me, but I found fish, and I stayed with it long enough to pull in that OVERSLOT snook. And so that made the entire trip worth it. So I've got some things to figure out. I've got some processes and workflows to figure out on the boat. I've got to solve my camera issue. Like, I should not have had to deal with that. Granted, I didn't have it running and set up when I probably should have, but that's just something I'm going to have to figure out. I've been having problems with them overheating when I leave them up and running, so I stowed it away, and then wasted an embarrassing amount of time trying to fix it. So here's a couple looks at my rig, in case you're curious how that thing is coming together. And as promised, here's a look at the failure from the anchor trolley. Again, it's the 3M tape that's separated. So no fault on the adapter kit or the anchor trolley itself. I think what I'm going to do is reapply that rear one, and I'm going to use marine grade goop, which is what I'm using on my keel guard. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.